Is a residential myth holding back your department?
You know, there's the stories that were told at the firehouse kitchen tables about firefighters being hurt by exterior streams, and that's simply just not true.
The crew is in Metro Atlanta to learn from national instructor Sean Gray about a controversial topic: exterior attack.
So we need to flood the building with people and flood the building with water.
6 burning questions that we'll tackle in this episode. Number 1, why should you consider exterior attack? Number 2, what's Captain Gray's preferred initial attack package? Question 3, should you pull a ground monitor or a hand line? Question 4, how can you master exterior attack on a second story fire? Number 5, how about mastering a first story fire? And finally, what does Captain Gray say to people who don't like exterior attack? You'll find out on this episode of Fully Involved. The crew is in Cobb County, Georgia, just outside Atlanta. With nearly 800,000 residents, 29 stations, and about 60,000 calls per year, Cobb County has developed an expertise in residential firefighting, especially Captain Sean Gray. He's the co-author of The Evolving Fireground.
We're simulating that there's going to be fire blowing out of an alpha side window, and the firefighter's deploying the line. He recognizes that we have a threat, we have a thermal threat that is exposing, coming out the front window.
Question 1. Why should you consider exterior attack?
Decision making for us is fast water on tank water, right? So that's our goal, is to try to get the fastest water that we can onto the body of fire that takes away that thermal threat for any victims that are possibly laying adjacent to the fire and for any other firefighters that are operating on the interior.
Question 2. What initial attack package does Captain Gray prefer?
Either on a deck gun or on ground monitors. Our target throw rate is 500. Okay. Then we go to the 300 GPM nozzle, which is our 2.5, and it's a 1 3/16 inch tip.
Yep.
So that gives us 300 GPMs. And then we go to our 1 3/4, which is 160 GPMs. We have 160 50 PSI fog nozzles or a 7/8 smoothbore tip.
Yep.
So we're 500, 300, 160.
Yep.
Question 3. Before we get into the steps, how do you know what to pull when?
We know that you can put a lot of damage on a fire with a very small line. Maneuverability matters, right? So getting water to the base of the fire and getting it with a maneuverable line. So most of the time, our 1 3/4 package is what we're going with. 7/8 smoothbore tip, 160 GPMs. We know it's maneuverable. We can get it to the actual base of the fire, get water in the fire, that extinguishes and makes things like that.
Question 4. What steps should you take to master exterior attack on a second story fire?
So they're just going to take the opportunity to punch the fire in the mouth real quick, knock it down, and then get to the interior, getting the water to the base of the fire. But for exterior attack, their perfect position is really not moving the nozzle very much at all. So where they're going to see the firefighter come up, they're going to sweep the eaves because we're simulating that fire is coming out of the window and getting up into the attic. So they're going to sweep the eave to knock down anything that might be just there in the attic. Then they're going to bring the nozzle down at a steep angle, allowing the water to hit just inside the window. Keeping it at a steep angle makes the water map across the room and all the ceiling and surfaces, right? So we get all that water mapping, taking out that flashover of the room, and then you're gonna see them as they back the nozzle out. They're gonna try to finish off the window hit on the second floor with the top of the window. They're gonna hit the top of the window, the lintel, banking the water down onto anything that's in the middle of the room, simulating if there was a bed or something like that on fire, and then you're gonna see them quickly transition to the interior.
Before we talk first floor tactics, let's get a bonus tip from a 46-year veteran.
Every now and again, you can't get enough water out of a hand line, whether it's a smoothbore or a combination nozzle. Sometimes you just need more punch on arrival. I'm Paul Neely at Task Force Tips. I'd like to talk to you today about the blitz fire. Why would you not want 86 degrees of attack angle? If you're limited to only 50 degrees, you may not be able to make that second story or third story window based on your close proximity of the monitor to the building. This could be the difference between completing a rescue or making a body recovery.
Back in Cobb County, Captain Gray answers question 5. What's different about a first floor fire?
And now we're going to talk about our first floor. So firefighter doesn't have to use the reach of the stream. He comes up, he's going to get down on one knee, flow water in again off of the ceiling, right, at a steep angle to really allow the water mapping to go through that entire room. And then as they come out, you're going to see that there's no reason to hit the top of the window on this one because we're on the first floor, and the firefighter can simply take the nozzle. We're going to put it inside the window and down low, and you're going to see them sweep around, simulating getting the actual burning fuels that are in the middle of the room.
And finally, number 6. What does Captain Gray say to critics of exterior attack?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is pushing fire or steaming other firefighters from exterior streams. If it's a properly applied stream, we know that water is not going to hurt us and that we're not afraid of water. There's still some challenges with pushing fire because you can push the smoke and gases of pushing fire. So you can move some things around, but it's caused by the air of your nozzle. Water droplets don't actually push fire. It's the air entrainment of your nozzle that actually pushes the fire. So that's why we're going to focus today on talking about straight streams or smoothbore nozzles to use for exterior attack.
Curious to learn more about TFT nozzles? Check out the new sortable nozzle page at tft.com/shop.